Grand Rising, everyone. Is Shay Seeking or Shalonda, and we're going to go ahead and again look at a couple things. This time in this video, we're going to be going through his story versus her story. We're going to be going into the biblical text. We're going to be going into some ancient writings or writings of antiquity. We're going to look at a couple maps. You know what I'm saying? We're just going to go into this really, really quick. Because again, and we're going to go into what I'm sensing and feeling in these times. And again, hopefully that's what people are here to see or hear. And yeah, so again, when I'm talking about that, whenever I go into Jeremiah, there is a sense of a womanizing, hating sense of something when we come to the book of Jeremiah, right? This is one of the books that I feel like, yes, now looking into the whole thing about Ashera of America in antiquities, the goddess, I say, of America or America, you know, again, I feel like resonating in her energy a lot because what is going on? What kind of bird is that? Because of the dealings that I've gone through and I've experienced, you know, throughout this whole journey, and being able to see it a little bit more clearly with the word being attached to it. So again, when we're talking wisdom, it's a strong presence. This bird is loud. Where is it? Okay, never mind. Okay, it's a strong presence, I feel like. And again, I think that it's a presence that can also be subdued, or it can be looked at as vicious or too, strong, and all these kind of things like this, these terms that we give to women that stand in their power, women that know who they are and carry themselves that way. And I don't like the whole way that we think, that we're looking at this whole thing when it comes to, now this is no offense to any kind of male energy or anything, this is just standing in feminine energy and just talking about what we're talking about. So I don't think I like some of the writings in this text. And maybe we can all get a collective view on what we're really talking about here. When we're talking about a sense of, there being different gods in this text, and a sense of, abuse. You know what I'm saying? When we're talking about these women in this, it's a very dehumanizing, very something going on here that I'm sensing. Okay. So again, and I feel like I sense this in this whole twin flame, divine, masculine, feminine energy. Like, because I don't know if people ain't want to talk about what it really is, and that some of these acts, again, women are very much unaware that these acts are going on. That we're dealing with beings that possibly have the ability to alter things. And that we're dealing with women that deal with them, again, and I'm going to just say, just for layman's terms, because I'm trying to even look into this whole thing about the difference between the divine and karmic. Well, the karmic will represent the false idols, in my eyes. And it will also represent those people who know good and well what they're doing when it comes to sorcery and witchcraft. And magic with sex and different other things. This is what I'm saying. Because I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm seeing this thing one kind of way and everybody else is seeing it. It feels like many people are seeing it a different way. And like for me, maybe it's just different for me. Maybe it's just different for me. And maybe it's just different for some other people. But there's a lot of blindfolded things that's going on that, again, in a sense, when you're listening or you're viewing this community, it would seem as though some things that are happening to you that were against your will. And I'm just trying to figure out if we're looking at this properly or is we not, or is this not maybe the way other people feel? I don't know. So we're gonna go right up in here real quick. No, I'm not right now. Hold on, I will be done in 30 minutes. I'm trying to make this quick. Oregano and parsley and basil.
Where's the tomato paste?
It's in the cabinet, the cabinet underneath the plates. Okay. So again, like I told you guys before, when it comes to Jeremiah and I think we may talk about Asherah, or Astarte, or Astar, whatever you want to call it, her name in different, versions of it. But I just don't know. So I'm looking here. Okay, so again, it's almost like there's a warring against, because really, again, okay, kings are going to reign supreme, right? But there's a feminine energy that is somewhat masculine, or and I don't want to use dominant, but like has a sense of domain or dominion, right? And again, because again, we're looking at a historical matter that keeps happening over and over again. So in the beginning of time, before any of this, she was here. So whatever we talking about beyond that, after her sons and her husbands were killed off, she would be taken in, and her empire, her kingdom taken in with her king. So so on and so forth. Down the line, we lose sight of the fact that these women held certain positions of power, the position of power, right? And that, nobody's saying that it have to be that way today. We just talking history. Nobody's talking against a god or a king. You know what I'm saying? Because I noticed that I still get the same thing, the same sense of this thing in Kings. But we have to remember, we're dealing with kings and kings. We have to remember some of these chapters we're talking about in Jeremiah, we're dealing with lords. We're dealing with lords of hosts. We're not dealing with God, right? So at this time, God must not be there. God must be blind, or God must be a feminine energy, or a goddess that doesn't know who she is because she has been drunkened, or she has been, again, I ain't even gonna play no games, because I'm seeing what I see, and I see what I see. And this is going to cause somewhat of a calamity, because again, when a woman speaks like this, it's out of character, and someone is not gonna like it, and they're gonna think that you're coming at them personally with the information that you're speaking. But the thing is, all this time, there's been a sense of someone coming for me regardless. Somebody has been coming for me damn near all my life. And so again, what time is it? People have been coming and acting as though they're there. And again, we're going to go into Psalms too, right? But they're acting as though they're there and for you, and then something happens and then they're not, right? And again, for me, the whole thing has been for me is, okay, there's something going on here. Source is sending people to link up. I don't know what kind of linking up this is. Okay, at one point it feels romantic, or like a sense of like a romantic relationship. We'll just say that. Sometimes it feels like a daughter and a son. Sometimes it just feels like friends or companions or brother and sister. So again, it's just a sense of feeling the energies out as they come in. But then again, I'm feeling like here. Okay, for instance, we see Psalms right here. O daughter of Babylon, doomed to destruction. Blessed is he who repays you as you have done to us. Okay, so again, now this is talking about the daughter of Babylon. It talks about Babylon in Jeremiah, but it also talks about the daughter of Babylon, which is two different entities. So it says Jeremiah 4:11. So I paid attention to this. 'Cause I'm thinking like, okay, we already passed, 4:11, right? We've already passed April, and something about a date in April I wanted to look up that, I don't know, had something to do with this, where I felt like it was speaking on this. Okay, so it says, at that time, it will be said to this people and to Jerusalem, a searing wind from the barren heights in the desert blows towards the daughter of my people, but not to winnow or to sift. Okay, so Jeremiah 4:12, it goes, a wind too strong for that comes from me. Now I also pronounce judgment against them. So again, we're dealing with, these are battles of the gods, I feel, right? These are battles of the gods about their children. You know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure no God is playing about his children more than others. But if there's a disconnect between one particular God and his daughter, because, and I'm just trying to figure out, again, just by using common sense, if there could be some kind of disconnect, because, again, we're dealing with, yes, a form of, a firmament or borders, or we're dealing with different these towers and stuff that are up, and different types of technology. Which again, how do we know if beings are visiting this plane, right, and flying objects like they were in the biblical text? Who's to say that something is not halting or stopping? Who's to say that there hasn't been like a disconnect or something where people can't, where these energies can't connect with their counterpart? Who's to say that, and I'm just looking at this real different right here. I'm looking real different because throughout the chapter, I mean, it's asking stuff like, doesn't this person have kings? What's going on? Why they over here when they got kings? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of confusion going on. It's a lot of confusion. We talking fire, right? So again, whenever I think Jehovah again, or Yehovah, that term, I think the canyon, the plains, that particular area is where my mind goes to as a god of that portion or that area. Okay. Let's see. Behold, the storm of the Lord has gone out with fury, a whirlwind swirling down upon the heads of the wicked. Okay. And then 50, for behold, I stir up and bring against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the land of the north. They will line up against her. From the north she will be captured. Their arrows will be like skilled warriors who do not return empty-handed. So again, it's to remind me of like a sense of like archery again too, and bows and arrows. And, it's also reminding me of, we may not be in this time, right? Because again, we're talking throughout this story. These things have happened over and over again, spiritually or physically, symbolically or whatnot. They have happened over time, right? So again, when we're talking about these arrows today, this would be directing energy regardless towards someone, right? So again, I feel like there's a lot of throwing rocks and hiding hands, or throwing rocks in, in hiding hands, because people are throwing out this information, this trash from hidden avenues, right? And they're hiding. They're throwing it out. They're spewing it out of their mouths, and they're hiding behind certain people and other platforms, and they're hopping from platform to platform in order to do this. And so again, that would be a great many arrows that are skilled. And again, at this point in time, like Biden said, and I feel like, that just gave me a little bit of positive energy in a sense where there is maybe some fair and balance there, because I feel like with headlines, I've seen favoritism heavy over there. But I feel like, again, at some point in time, the energy has shifted because something has occurred. And I think that short clip that I was watching about the direction that this voting rights and all these, and America being under attack by whatever he said, I can't remember exactly. It definitely resonated with me. Because I think what he's saying is that it's supposed to be, these people are supposed to be able to, rule over themselves and all this other stuff. But again, it's making me think about that whole instance where maybe some people are moving in. You know what? Is it making me think about something even I might have been reading in a text the other day about somebody supposedly moving in on that land, which makes me think about the bordering of, Canada and the Americas in ancient times. How the border was lowered a little bit, like more into the Americas than before. And how I've heard, rumors over time that certain states in the north of Americas were being bought out by certain, maybe Canada and other places. So I'm just looking at this as though like on this channel is fair and balanced, right? I'm not trying to go no way. I'm showing you what I see, and that's just it. Like, if it's leaning more towards someone looking like the bad guy or an instance happening sooner or later, I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing. We're looking at this information, we're looking at this word, and we're trying to even just prove that the biblical text is, because I know there's a lot of talk that it is not a true book of God. Okay, maybe it's not, but it is still a historical document in my eyes, right? Once you're able to read between the lines and unveil the words and text and things like that, it actually makes a lot more sense than what you've learned in religious institutions such as churches and things like that, right? And there are going to be things that in here that affected us then, somewhere in the middle, and they're affecting us now, and they're going to affect our children in the future. So that's why I like to take the look at it like a parallel run of all these things wrapped up in one, so we can kind of like get it wrapped around in our head as to what is going on. It's basically to seek the truth. So again, this whole thing about, from the north, again, this could be a physical capturing. This can also be a capturing of the mind, right? Some kind of, through some type of tech. This could be also, you know what I'm saying? It could be talking about some people coming from a northern place. It could be talking about, again, dealing with I don't know why north node or, a way of seeing is coming to mind as well, right? Okay? I'm just saying, all right? Okay, so again, although he flourishes, let's see, among his brothers, an east wind, so someone coming from the east, this wind could be breath. Again, some of the breath I feel we're talking about in these texts have a power when it comes to your words meaning something, when it comes to, law. And then there's a spiritual, natural breath that is going to be inherited by those that are, again, more interwoven in the soil, I feel. The ones that are the originals or the aboriginals, so-called aboriginals, that is something different than what would be, again, I think it says something about AI in here, right? That would be something that, again, would work there, but it's not going to work in the spiritual realm as much. And that's not going neither here or there. What I'm saying is it seems to be a whirlwind of catastrophe and things going on here. Are we talking divide and conquer, or, again, amongst feminine energies, or these mountains, or these peaks, these valleys, these lands, again, these mounts in this time? It's almost like a forcing into something, and it's almost like, in a sense, like nobody wanted to act right? But if, in a sense, it's like the male energy that is free to move and roam at this point in time. I don't know how it was then, but at this point in time, it seemed like they're able to roam free in a sense. So again, I'm looking at this part here where it says, all right, let's get into the words, right? Okay. It says, like a thief, the only shame that Israel knows is getting caught. Kings, princes, priestesses, and prophets all are alike in this. They call a carved up, again, so it's something that is carved up or cut out or whatever, wooden post, their father. And even this is making me think about a totem pole. So again, we have to be able to go. You got to be able to, like the way I do it is like fluctuating between what is we talking about. I'm putting myself in the shoes of my ancestors in remembrance and honoring them. And then I'm also looking at it from, again, not everybody that came over here from overseas at all times were bad. But I'm also thinking of, okay, later on, this and that happened. So we're talking manifest destiny. We're talking about all these particular things that happen, right? And it's not even to talk about it to say today we should all hate each other. No, we should just all know the truth. This could help with many things. And again, because I feel like the male aspect, and again, whether it is something that is natural or being done artificially. I mean, this is another thing to get a grips on, right? Whether it's being done naturally or artificially, there's a sense of something that is hovering over that people are not talking about it for some reason, as if they scared, or if we're gonna sugarcoat it like it's something when we see what the hell it really is. And when it comes to women that don't want to be defiled, women that don't want to be abused or treated in a certain way, or misused or mishandled, that want to stand their ground and say, hey, if this is the way it is, then I don't want that then, right? Then that's a problem. And again, if this is male energies, again, whether it's artificial or it is organic of a God, using their power and using these things to direct this energy towards any feminine aspect that is trying to do her thing in this time. Same thing with women. If women are using spell work and sorcery to pull men, that's weak as hell. And sex magic and all this stuff, like this is extra super weak. And so again, chaos is again on the earth again. And it has to do with money, bribery, thieving, stealing, greed, taking too much, robbing your brother and your sister of what is theirs just because you can, or because they haven't made it to where, because again, there's your prophetic and priestly groups, right? And then you also have those ones that are going to be dealing and dabbling with certain things that have to do with, building nations and nation building. The whole thing is it's supposed to come full circle and be something that helps everyone. But no, again, it didn't happen that way. But I want to talk about what we're talking about when I'm seeing this thing here. Okay. So again, yes, he said, for terror from the north will boil out upon all the people of this land. Now, again, this is making me think about the Delta. You know what? It's also making me think about that hot, steamy, disgusting heat that had swarmed over the Midwest not that long ago. Right? I am calling the armies of the kingdoms of the north to come to Jerusalem and set their thrones at the gates. Now, remember this, gates being symbolic for somebody that has a group today that represents something that has something to do with gates. And maybe gates being closed. And I'm wondering why. You know what I'm saying? Or fortified in a sense, possibly, right? So again, we're talking about, this could be somebody that has gates on their emblem. It could be somebody that has some gates around their house. It could be somebody that has gates around their, I think about it when it, on a spiritual aspect, that you have, walls up to keep yourself protected, because now you see what type of shit is going on, actually, really. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Okay? So, again, it says, I'm calling the armies of the kingdoms of the north to come to Jerusalem and set their thrones at the gates of the city and all along its walls, and all the other cities of Judah. Okay? Again, this is the way I will punish my people for deserting me. Okay? All right? There is a wordplay here beginning with Shaki, almond, Shakith, watching. I will surely carry out my threats of punishment. Okay, for I am watching over my word to perform it. Spilling over Judah implied. Okay, so again, we're in the Living Bible right here for now. So it says, for worshiping other gods. Yes, idols. They themselves have made. Again, no. This is a feminine energy in her energy. Listen here. This is, what does it say about mother? The Lord said to me, okay, we're in Jeremiah, this is 4. I knew you before you were formed within your mother's womb. Before you were born, I sanctified you and appointed you as my spokesperson to the world. Okay. See? All right. So now we talking. Now I'm realizing something here. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm seeing this two ways. because it says when Jerusalem was captured and the people were taken as slaves. So again, let's remember that the slave trade today, now we were like, okay, it's missing children, boom, 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 whatever, whatever, right? But now those children are gone, right? Now we know that they're talking about certain things that have to do with, like, you know, womb implant. I mean, you know, implant, because not a, you know, things like this or whatever. And we have a lot of young women, you know, of all races, again, that may have been taken into some kind of market or into some kind of form of trade. And then now, you know, we don't talk about that no more. We only talk about this foolishness, right? We don't talk about that no more. And now we see that we're in a whole nother time here now. Virtual reality, artificial intelligence, invisible man. I'll just use these terms and make it easier for us not to be really getting that much trouble. But if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. So again, speaking against the Lord, what were these female energies just trying to protect themselves against something that was unseen, or something that they cannot put their finger on, or something that was coming that, you know, should have raised some type of suspicion? And maybe all the men maybe didn't know about it. Maybe these are, again, foreign, you know, plants or foreign men or energies or corporations that had a hand on these things. So again, I'm feeling like at one point, yes, we were at a point where, okay, this thing was going on with just some people here, right? But I feel like something happened where someone may have been dubbed useless, whether this is a god or whatever. Somebody was dubbed useless in a sense, right? Or unwanted. And that feminine energy, or those feminine energies, could be, again, transported to now we're using foreign, again, Moab or Arabic, or again, in a sense like that. And again, I have nothing against, you know, anybody that is Arabic. We're talking about this as a history lesson, right? They could have been dark skinned or light skinned back then. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even about that. And it's just like, you know, because the people like to say, oh, those were the first people to enslave. But then we have to take that back to the Americas. And we have to look at the maps of the old ancient maps of America. When we're talking about Africa in America, we're talking about Asia in America. We're talking about Ethiopia in America, ancient Egypt in America. and it's just like, you know, so there's a lot of confusion and a lot of things that are mixed up. And I'm just wondering if we still confused today. Because again, I hear people reading the biblical text and looking at it in a certain way, but I don't see anything like this being spoken of. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so anyways, let's keep going. Okay, so people for deserting me. Okay, so again, you know, like I don't know if this is talking about a male or a feminine energy. Like I said, I'm not even going to point fingers at who it could be. I'm just saying. A god or a goddess would be upset, right? Right? Now, this would be somebody in this times, I'm thinking, that would have a form of power in this time, because they would have some type of authority or nation or tribe, or they would have a group over just their people, or maybe they're attached to even more people. And this is why sometimes it seems as though they say, okay, well, this person did that, all right, send the troops after them, because they're speaking about this. But they're just speaking because they just found out that even the people that look like them may have some type of authority over them. Do you see what I'm saying? That, again, in a sense, is left in the dark. And this is a massive amount of, this is just not a small, this is not just a minority, this is the majority of groups of people, of our people. And we got people pretending like they care about our people. And I want to know if you know that this shit is happening to our people and you just acting like that's what you doing. You understand? Because there's so much stuff going on with people in here, especially in this chapter, taking things from people for worldly treasures. So I'm just wondering. So again, for worshiping other gods, yes, idols, they themselves have made. Again, this is making me think of some of these women. Again, and we talk about this whole community or this whole group. Like, we all have gifts. We all have certain things about ourselves, right? But again, what I'm saying is some of these people just don't belong here. And so this is where the chaos is coming from. You want to keep the one, and it's a problem when you want to keep the people that's original and make them feel like they got to jump through hurdles, or they're not good enough, or they don't have this or the qualities to go along with it. Fuck all that. What are we talking about? And they make sure to talk about what language you're using, because they want to make sure you're going to use some real nice and pleasant language, because you want people to feel comfortable. But it says, do unto them as they are doing to you. So in that case, this means that somebody is upset because somebody used some fake idols. They're propping up these particular women in certain instances. And again, in some instances, are we talking about gifting, land, and businesses and things like this? Because of what? But if you're not going to be able to bow down to me if I'm mistreating you, then, or if there's some confusion there, then you'll get this. You'll get butchered, or we'll send these people. And I'm not saying in this particular instance, but I'm saying throughout this chapter, this is what I feel like I'm reading. Okay? So again, it says, get up and dress and go out and tell them whatever I tell you to say. Don't be afraid of them, or else I will make a fool of you in front of them. For see, today I have made you impervious to their attacks. Now again, okay, I am just reading this right now. I wasn't aware again, but again, it feels like it's a direct message. And what are we in? 13, 14, 15. I don't know what today's date. What is today's date? What is it? The 14th. Okay. So we're in 16, 17. All right. All right. For see, today I have made you impervious to their attacks. And again, this is what I'm saying is naturally, just throughout my videos over the past couple of days, this is what I've been trying to relay to people. And again, this is a freestyle. I didn't practice this or nothing like that. I just came and I said, these things look interesting. I pulled them up and here we go. Right? And I can see, I seen once I did those the one video just bringing awareness to some of these sketchy things that, people been working overtime now. And they're not on their platforms because they don't want people to see what they're doing on their platform. No, they're going to go to other people's platform. They're going to go to other people's platform with 10 and 12 people on there. Some of the platforms that I showed you in the video. And it's nothing personal against them platforms. Matter of fact, I didn't even click on it to see what the fuck they was talking about. You hear me? Because at the end of the day, I don't really care. They may not have been talking about nobody at all, but I see the moves being made. I can see the energy on the people's face. I can see how they looking. Just like I was looking, uncomfortable. But the thing is, I feel like when we're like in the book of Psalms, it talks about and a soul sibling mentioned this verse today. And I don't have it pulled up, but I hopefully we'll be able to pull it up, by the end. But it says something along the lines of, these people are coming against me. These men and these kings are coming against me for no reason. I didn't do nothing to them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, that's kind of like the energy that I'm in. And I'm pretty sure y'all can tell I don't do nothing scripted on here. That's why it'd be looking like a mess. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like that's what energy we're in right now. And again, there's a sense of just like, don't say nothing, be quiet. But then again, if I would have listened to what people were saying about not being quiet, I don't know who is friend or foe. It don't even matter. Don't take no offense. It don't even matter. Don't take no offense. Everything I do, I'm sizing people up and the energy up, whatever I'm looking at. I don't just let stuff come into me. I'm sizing it up and I'm sifting through the information. And I'm checking on the people and their energy. So I think this is why we have these gifts at this time, to use it for that, not for trying to capture people and trick people and bring, you know what I'm saying? I just can't, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So again, a couple of my soul seeing siblings said things that resonated with me, that was just like confirmation for me, that I have been dwelling on. And then, it's kind of like confirmation. And again, I do know, I'm watching now. I know that there are some of these people that are very genuine and very well at their craft, but there's also people that have been let into our minds in a way, as Rahab sent those people over the fence. And Rahab could be a so-called origine woman, and she could be a foreign woman. But I'm just saying, Rahab put them people over the fence to spy on that town or city or person or individual. And in these times, if we're talking about a vassal, then that means that somebody is doing some form of mind play, mind reading. Okay? All right? So we're bringing it all into one thing is what we're trying to do here, so we can get a better sense of understanding of what we're talking about. Okay? So again, it says, they cannot harm you. You are strong. Okay. So again, I don't know who needs to hear this. We are just looking at it. All right. I'm not even claiming to know who needs to hear this out of the feminine, divine feminine, or collective whole group, or just individuals in general. Right? All right. So again, for a second, I was feeling like, even when that energy was saying that these are the things that are going to happen, I feel like, as a sense, a certain Lord or a certain God or a certain king kind of had that same energy as to, like, until you turn away from that, or that. And again, it made me realize something today. Then turn back to just only listening to me. Then, what I'm saying? This is the things that's going to be happening. And again, it's hard when you can't really, and that's why I said some of this stuff has been done by design, because they know who some of us is already long time. Some things have been altered already and done to people that they have no idea. Okay? So again, this is not to speak against anything. It's just in general information we are observing, and we are just looking. There are, again, gods, plural, in this Bible, or more than one God. And we also are dealing with people that want to be God or goddesses. So again, we're dealing with a lot right now. So again, it says, like iron pillars and heavy gates of brass. Okay. Wait, you are strong like a fortified city. So this is saying that this person, whoever you is, whoever we turn to talk about at this point, if it's the same person or not, right? Because I don't like when they do that. So it says, you are strong like a fortified city that cannot be captured. Okay. So again, it's kind of like, almost like, protecting yourself again. I feel spiritually as well, mentally and spiritually. Like an iron pillar and heavy gates of brass. All the kings of Judah and its officers and priests and people will not be able to prevail against you. They will try, but they will not fail. They will fail. For I am with you, says the Lord. I will deliver you. And again, this is a sense of that feeling, of the overwhelming feeling of source coming down in the form of a living being. Maybe not even just even still in a spiritual sense of like hovering over, or in, in your third eye or your mind's eye, or a way of seeing it like that, or sitting on his throne, because he's going from place to place on those thrones, again, on those mounts, those peaks, right? And so I feel like something is going on. Definitely war to a certain extent. Okay. So again, okay. So again, I think that this is a beautiful part here, because this kind of resonates with me too. It just resonates a little bit. And So again, that's why I'm saying I'm not coming at anybody. We're just unraveling this information. And it says, again, the Lord spoke to me and said, go and shout this in Jerusalem's streets. The Lord says, okay. And it says, I remember how eager you were to please me as a young bride long ago, and how you loved me and followed me even through the barren deserts. In those days, Israel was a holy people, the first of my children. All who harmed them were counted deeply guilty, and in great evil fell on anyone who touched them. So again, because I do feel like there's an antagonizing energy of, oh, where's all of your power at this point? And, it's just a sense of something where I'm just like, man, this is how I can tell, like, there are gods. There are different gods here. And again, we are different. We're not all the same. And it doesn't even just have to do with your skin color, really. Like your so-called race or whatever. I don't think. It's just my opinion. It says here, O Israel, says the Lord, why did your fathers desert me? What sin did they find in me that turned, this almost sounds like what I was going to be reading in Psalms, that turned them away and changed them into fools who are worshiping idols. And I'm telling you right now, it was magic. With some of these female energies. It's just, there's no other way of it. That's just what it was. That's what it was. Because we're talking brothels and harems and that type of energy. Okay, I'm stressing on that type of energy on a level where you would not be able to imagine. They ignored the fact that it was I, the Lord, who brought them safely out of Egypt and led them through the barren wilderness. A land of desert and rock and drought and death, where no one lives or even travels. And I brought them into a fruitful land to eat of its bounty and goodness, but they made it into a land of sin and corruption and turned my inheritance into an evil thing. Even their priests cared nothing for the Lord, and their judges ignored me. Their rulers turned against me, and their prophets worshipped Baal and wasted their time on nonsense. So again, if we're looking at two different groups of energies, the people that are in the books and in the word, again, would look like nonsense to one God. And I do feel that's a heavy sense that one of these gods is not pleased with us in the biblical text. But the way it's playing out and the way the word is, I can't help but see that no, there's something here, regardless if it's his words, there's something here, right? And then there's another energy again that, the word is bond. And then there's other energies. I think when it has to do with tech, I think when it has to do with governing forces, just my opinion. And they're not all good and they're not all bad. We just have to be able to discern and let that resonate. Again, maybe everybody else is already on game. And maybe they don't talk about it out loud. But I'm just thinking like, what in the hell is going on? It's almost like I'm in the Twilight Zone. It's trippy. It's trippy. To have all this stuff on your mind, actually see that people are basically really talking about it, but they're talking about it in a sense where it's coded, right? They're talking about it in a sense where it's coded. And to hide it from what? Why are we cloaking it? Other people are running off about it, whether it's a spiritual message, prophetic message, whether it's a gossip column or a gossip website. Other people are ragging on about it. So again, why are some of us blinded to it? And why now should I be quiet about something? When it's telling me here, say what I told you to say. It feels like that resonates with me, at least, or somebody saying it, whether it's supposed to resonate with somebody else or not. But it's almost like a mechanism or a form of getting somebody to be like defeated in a sense, if you ask me. So, we're going to go ahead and go into like the maps and stuff, right? Because, we have these letters right here from this person named Jeremiah, which is possibly the same person, or from